36 number one international best-selling authors. Oh my goodness. I am tickled pink to be able to say that. My name is Nick, and welcome to another episode of The Person Behind the Pen. So, The Person Behind the Pen was created to give all of the writers who've published regarding brilliant writers the opportunity to come on and do a live reading from their chapter. We believe that storytelling is a gift that needs to keep being passed on through the generations. We leave a legacy, and oftentimes, if we don't write our story, somebody else is going to write it for us. So, I want to say hello to William and Jeremy and Maureen. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a little snafu in the back. We have Miss Mesha with us, but our other guest is running a little bit behind. That would be Jamie. So hopefully Jamie is able to join us today. I am so excited to introduce you to Mesha. Wow, I don't even know what to say. I met Mesha last summer, and out of nowhere, we just became fast friends. Not only because of this project, but I think that there were just things that both of us kind of have in our core value box that aligned. And we continue to nurture this friendship over more than a year now. And we continue to speak to each other regularly. In fact, when I told her, I'm exiting my job, I'm going to go start this business, she was like, girl, she's like, you go for it. And she has totally been there with me and for me every step of the way. Now, that's what I hope to kind of bring out today, that when you join these collaborative projects, it's more than just sharing your story. You're actually giving witness to the stories of your co-authors. And if you choose to put more into that, it can go so much further. And that's why I specifically brought these two women on today. They have gone on beyond this project and have created their own collaborations, doing their own things. And it's inspirational to see, because we say it all the time, right? What you get out of it is what you put into it. And it's true. If you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to show up, then things are going to happen for you. If not, then you start and it dies right there. And these ladies did not let that happen. Absolutely not. So I'm going to say hi to Yolanda and Leslie. Thank you so much for coming in and joining us as well. Thank you, Jeremy. It's a fave, and I've had this hat for like umpteen years. My husband says, get rid of it now. And I'm like, nope. And I see somebody backstage seems to have one as well. So she has good taste. All right. So we're going to jump right in with that. I am going to bring these ladies up. Mesha Mebane is the CEO of Infrared Vision, and Jamie Rockymore-Bess is the founder of Healthful Living magazine. These women, wow, they have a way with words, yes, but more than that, they have a way with people. And you're going to see and hear all about that for yourselves. Ladies, hello.
Hello, look at you twinning. You guys are twinning. Where's my hat?
It's winning. Oh my gosh. Oh, it is cold up in New York. I don't know where it is like where you guys are at, but seriously, how is it down by you guys? Because it's freezing in New York.
Go ahead, Jamie. You can tell her we're in the same state.
Yeah, the wind is showing out today, I can say. So a little breezy, not too cold, but the wind is out there. You need a nice light jacket, that's for sure.
I wonder if it has anything to do with us and if it's heading to you guys as well, because we like the noise to hit on Sunday. And it's just been raining nonstop. I mean, the breeze is crazy. And that's usually what makes it feel so much colder, right? It's the bloody breeze. So I want to thank both of you for making time to come on. I know how busy everyone is, and I know like this is usually dinner time. And it's funny because my husband pulled up like 10 minutes before, and I'm like, no, I'm going live. We need to eat dinner after. All right, can I have a taste? Like, oh, okay. So, where do I want to start? I want you guys to just jump right in and introduce yourselves. And even when like Misha told me later on that you guys were working on all these things, I was like, when did they hook up? Did they hook up during the book, about the book? Was it like afterwards? Is it because you guys lived in the same state? Like, I am dying to know what was the connection? Like, what
Well,
sparked this friendship to go beyond?
well, I did her like I did you. I mean, I saw an opportunity, and I called her. I reached out to her, and just really just I would say I bouldered my way in, basically. I saw something I wanted, just like I did with you, Nick. I again, my story about how I reached out to you on a Saturday. It was August, and I wanted to become a first time author, and it was on my vision board. I looked over my shoulder. If anybody can see it, there's a red frame over there. It doesn't move. That's my vision board. And I looked over my shoulder and I said, it's August 2024. Where is my book? Because I wanted to become an author. So it was same thing with Jamie. After the book was published, I noticed I had an aha moment. I noticed she was in Maryland, and I noticed that she had a magazine. So I reached out to her, called her up, and we had a conversation. And I just simply asked her, I didn't use a lot of words. I said, can I put my mindset, or produce mindset articles in your digital magazine? You could take it from there, Jamie.
Yeah, and we had a really good extensive conversation, and typically I get submissions now that the magazine has produced quarterly and it's definitely getting noticed. I often will get submission requests. And typically what I like to do is I like to talk to people, because to me it's more than just an article and you go about your way. You know,
Yeah.
to me it's a good rapport, relationship, networking, learning more about the individual, why they want to write the article, and what they hope to get out of it, knowing about me, because I feel like when you know the creator, the founder on both ends, the work is different. The output is different. And so we had a really good conversation, had good vibes from Misha. And I got off the call like, wow, like this woman's amazing, like she knows what she wants, and she's I can tell from the start that she's a go-getter, and she told me her story. And then I just felt comfortable with, well, not so much comfortable. In addition to comfortable, I was excited to kind of see what she was going to write about, or just to see what her work was, the mindset. And then we met in person. Geez,
Last November.
yeah, we met in November, and just kind of been staying connected since. She's done a couple of articles in the magazine, and I think one of the things that was really cool for the both of us is we're different, doing different things, but want like similar outcomes, to help people grow and to, bring awareness in the realm of what we are doing. And so and it's not often that you meet people online, or that I meet people online that are in the same state. And so, I was like really excited, because it kind of like strengthens the bond, you know, especially when you can meet somewhere and talk and have uninterrupted conversations. And it was cool. So
Yeah, we met out for breakfast last November. My suggestion, I never really want to like boulder my way into somebody's project. Nick, I'll be meeting you sometime in 2026, but without meeting face to face. So we had breakfast, and it just a really good, you can tell the spirit, I'm a spiritual person. You could tell the spirit by the spirit. You could tell if it's going to be not complicated, no drama, that kind of thing. And it was none of that. And I appreciate her for allowing me to even produce in her magazine because it gets distributed through the DMV area. And I just saw an opportunity. One of the things my coach, Maureen, has always talked about is Mesha, raise your authority. So that's what really is all about. In 2024, she told me the first of 2024, raise your authority. So I was looking for opportunities to do that, and I started with you, Nick, and then it uh, spiraled out to Jamie, and then it spiraled out to some other things ever since then. So
It's just, it's a beautiful story because
Mm-hmm.
so many things are coming to me, right? Like the people in the audience, like I know all of them
Mm.
to some degree. And will I meet all of them? I hope so. And Jamie, I actually know quite a few people that live in New York, and I've met a few,
Oh, cool.
but that doesn't like necessarily mean that the connection's there.
Hmm.
And you automatically know when you come into a space with someone what that aura feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Like you already kind of intuitively know I'm gonna hit it off with this person. And so many times like we don't trust our instincts and you keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Um, what I love that Misha did is she spoke up. And I feel like people don't get things in this life if they don't speak up,
I agree.
right? Um, just like you walk in a crowd and it's not that you want to be uh, any more important than anyone else in the crowd. It's not that. But if you don't put your hand up and say, hey, I'm here, nobody ain't going to see you.
well, I've been in sales since 1993, Nick. So my philosophy is, and a lot of people who know or just make a living out of sales, closed mouths don't get fed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to be in business for yourself, you definitely cannot be a shrinking violet in the corner. You know what I mean? Um, I'm actually more of an introvert than I am an extrovert. I have to force myself to be both, which is called an ambivert. Okay. And so when you're in business for yourself, if you're both, a little bit of both, they fight with each other every day. At least mine does. My
Mhm.
introvert self and my extrovert self. And that's why my coach, Maureen, she's good for me because she softly pushes me. She knows I'm an introvert, so she softly pushes me she won't say much. She'll just say, hey, things like raise your authority, do this or do that. And that pushes me out of my comfort zone to keep it moving, to be bold, and get what I want because it's necessary. Because if you're not going to do it as your own entrepreneur self, if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Did you have a similar experience, Jamie, when you started the magazine? Because both of your chapters talks about how you came into what you do. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say when I wanted to do the magazine, I wanted to just freelance originally. I wanted to just freelance and I was looking for magazines to write and it seemed like it was like really hard. It was like they kind of already had hello. It seemed like they already had like their folks per se. And so that was a challenge. And so one day I was just like, I'm just going to do it myself. Do I know what I'm doing at that time? No, I don't. But I do know that the only way I'll learn is if I start. And I have a background in mental health and I seen the need. And so I noticed that people who were coming into the hospital for mental health treatment, it was like their first time or they didn't really quite understand what was going on. They're like, I went to a different hospital. Why am I here? You know, it was just so much confusion. And I
Mm-hmm.
noticed how the system kind of would hurt. You know, it's like you're already coming into this environment upset. You're more likely not going to follow whatever, or maybe you will follow just to get out, but then you'll go back to doing what you were doing prior. So I knew that the education was needed. And I was like, okay, well, I'm trying to write articles. I used to write blogs, but I just felt like I wasn't getting what I was wanting, you know. And so I just went out there and just figured it out. I literally just like figured out how to put a magazine together. Um, with the background, I knew some people that would want to start sharing their story. So I would meet with people. And then it just kind of slowly came together. And I was like, all right, I would say after the third magazine, I was really learning how to curate and do things and help produce it to where it is today. And so um, my challenge was that there was just a lot of doors shut. There was a lot of doors shut in my face. There was a lot of no's. There was a lot of, I've even had someone tell me like, well, that's not going to make you any money, or you're not credentialed enough to do that, but I didn't listen. I just kept going because I knew the need was there, and I knew that the purpose was more important than someone else's perception, of the outcome. So, um, once I seen it, and I know Nick, maybe even you could even attest to it, is like when you think of something and you vision something and you write it in your notebook, or or your vision board, and then you see it in the flesh, a book, a magazine, whatever. It's
Yeah.
so motivating. Like there's so many emotions behind it, because it's like, wow, I really did this. And then with the emotions, there's so many nights where I think we all can agree with, where we was just like, oh, I got writer's block, or oh, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this next step? Or, things are just not panning out, but it still came out the way that it, was supposed to. And so when I saw that first magazine, it was just all the motivation I needed to keep moving forward. So,
Wow. You know what? I do understand. And with every next book I publish and it comes, I feel that way again and again. Like, I think some people become desensitized after a while because they've published so many books. And that's where I don't ever want to be. Like, I
yeah.
chose to go into what I went into because I believe so much in the power of storytelling. And I believe so much that everybody should have an opportunity to be published. It shouldn't only be for the rich or for the famous or for um, I think,
Well, let's talk about the ugly truth. It shouldn't be for certain groups of people. There's underpublished races out there right now. So, for you to position yourself as someone that will publish any race, I'm going to say the truth, then, and being known for that is an awesome thing.
Mhm.
it's not about, it's never been about that. And to me, it can't be about that, right? Because, I mean, no people, no stories, no stories, no books. What are
Mm.
you publishing? And the thing is, like, everybody has a story, and those
Yeah.
stories are how we connect. It's if we don't talk, we don't connect. But more and more often these days, people are not talking. I
Yeah.
mean, it's all very transactional. And like what Jamie said, it's about an experience, and I understand what you say, Jamie. Like, I fell into this. I didn't think that, oh, I'm going to become a publisher. I
Mhm.
kind of fell into it because, again, I saw a need. I
Mhm.
saw people wanting to share their stories and not having a way to do so and not knowing where the hell to start with it. Um, and just getting blindsided. Like, I've heard so many nightmare stories about people who have gone to work with publishers and the things that have happened, they've kind of almost become soured. And the sad part about it is that's somebody's dream that you trample on when you do that. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I think that what you are both doing is like you're saying, hey, you are allowed to dream, and I have a way to help you make that dream come true. And I am not going to shut the door in your face. And Jamie, I get it. There, it's so hard because there are tons and tons and tons of people who seem to have absolutely forgotten where they started. And now they could reach back and help pull 10 people forward, but they're too busy clawing their way up about 10 more people. Um, and, I think that people that end up working together, it's because they align on their values. So I don't know if either of you would like to do a short reading from your chapters. I will leave that completely up to you guys. Normally I have people on and they read, but we have two of you tonight. Let me know if you guys would like to. And then Mr. Felipe just arrived.
Hi,
Hmm.
Felipe. Nice to see you.
Felipe was actually a judge along with moi, um, when Miss Misha there decided that she was going to have some singing competitions. It was
Yes,
quite
last year.
hilarious. Felipe was Simon Cowell.
Mm-hmm.
Nick was just Nick. I was just, Nick. So
Yeah.
I'm pulling up a couple of these comments because I want you guys to see there are so many people here right now
I
that
saw Marines earlier and I saw a couple other people.
want to
Hey,
support.
everybody. Nice to see you. Yeah, while you're doing that, I just really wanted to chime in and say I wrote a article on the company page, Infrared Vision's company page today, to emphasize if you're not collaborating with someone in some type of space, in your space, your arena, figure it out. Because I have this thing about I like to knock on doors. I really do. And again, closed mouths don't get fed. And if you're not knocking on doors for what you want, because when I collaborate with someone, I'm also collaborating with my coach now too. I'd rather have half the shark and be able to eat it than nothing at all. And there's another spin on this for Jamie and I. Jamie, I'm being blunt about it, is get ready to sign a contract with Infrared Vision after she reviews it this Friday, where she has been hired by me to do some content creation for 2026 on, but we're just getting started. And I'm excited about it. So that's another collaboration. And again, what I wrote about in the article today is if you have all this knowledge and education, talent, connections within your LinkedIn community, why aren't you reaching out with people to people and collaborate? I never thought that my coach, my business coach of 7 years, would turn around at the end of last year and say, guess what? I want to hire you. I'm like, hire me to do what? She goes, I want you to be the mindset catalyst to my company in Genicom to talk about the mindset behind learning artificial intelligence. So you got to figure out who your tribe is, reach out to some of these people, and come together. I'm not saying everybody is qualified to collaborate. Again, I feel a synergy with Jamie. So she is my person. She's the right kind of peeps, along with you, Nick, right kind of peeps that I like to collaborate with. But find out who those people are and start working together because you can get more. You can get more by doing more together than you can by standing off in the corner with your arms folded. You got something to add to that, Jamie?
Yeah, I was going to say I think community is important and building network is important. I think one of the challenges and maybe if this is a challenge, then maybe that person is not the person to collaborate with. But there's been challenges where you would go to an event and you would switch business cards, Instagrams, LinkedIn, whatever, and then sometimes you connect, but then it would like leave, or it will stay stagnant or it'll stay there. I would just say if anyone is experiencing that, is to just keep going, connect with other people, because eventually you will get your support. You will get that network. And honestly, I feel like one day I went to a some type of event at the what was that place called? The Apollo Theater. That's what it was called. The Apollo Theater. And they were talking about network and community, and everyone wanted to network with the celebrities that were on the stage. And one of the guys was like, one of the celebrities was like, "No, your network. You want to network with the people around you, because that's where the power is. Everyone's trying to pull on a celebrity's
Mhm.
coattail, and it's like they probably may already have their folks, right? Or their whatever. It's like build your own community if you can, and network with people, because there's something about working with people when they're all in the same level and we all want the same thing. I feel like the relationship, or the relationship is more meaningful. And it's all about the journey going to, I think. So yeah, I agree. I agree. It is hard sometimes. I've had to learn, speaking on introvert and extrovert, I had to learn, and I think you do learn when you're an entrepreneur very quickly, that if you are quiet, no one's going to know what it is that you do, what products that you have, what service you provide. They're not going to know that if you don't speak up, or if you don't put it. And then sometimes it's like, you can't just put it out there once and think everyone's going to see it. You have to be consistent, and strategic in how people, how you meet, network with people, and being genuine, because sometimes some people you could see is not genuine. It's like you said, transactional. And I
Yes.
feel like with even where we were with COVID, it seemed like the transactional relationships became real prevalent, because no one was really connecting. So I feel like what you did, Nick, kind of helped bring that connection back.
Mhm.
So
She did a great job of doing that, actually.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
what other thing I think is successful with people is, I know I'm an entrepreneur. I know what I'm doing, but it's more important. And Nick and Jamie found this out. It's more important for me to learn about you
Mm.
first. It's more important for me to understand where you're coming. And while I'm listening to you, I'm clocking. That's what the young people say now. I'm clocking whether or not I'm able to be, I'm listening to you, and I'm clocking what you're saying, and I am making my determination whether or not I want to work with you or be a part of your project. It's a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street, because some people can be so full of themselves. And I hate to say it, but people love my honesty. I do not love an egotistical person who is me all the time. I don't love them. I love the person where we can really display, walk the walk of authenticity, and you can hear it when we talk, and that we can really relate to each other.
See, it's so funny because I was going to ask both of you, but I think that even the first 30 minutes so far of this conversation already answers the question, why did you choose to write in this trilogy a people first professional networking platform? Because we've been chatting, and these both the ladies are published with Guiding Brilliant Writers. And the whole purpose of the trilogy was to highlight that through this network, if you show up as a person, you can get a lot done as a professional, right? So it was actually the reverse of the title. We came as professionals, we make impact as people. And so many come as professionals and they stay there. They want to do more, but they don't know how to do more. And they don't because they forget we are people before professionals. And I think that the people that get that, right? That's where the connection starts.
Hmm.
So I have the QR code up behind me. You could scan that and you can purchase your copy of a People First Professional Networking Platform. Jamie and Misha's stories are both in there. They're going to read a little bit of it now.
Mhm.
And I have some good news. All three of the books are now available in audio. So,
Oh, nice.
That's
for those of
awesome.
you who like to do dishes and listen, like moi, the books are also now available in audio. And I think that
I
it couldn't
see.
be a more crucial time for
Mhm.
these books to resurface. You know, social media runs its own algorithm and it's always changing. But the bottom line is there are people who have come onto this platform and have, as a result, started a business like I did, right? And it always does boil down to community. And I think that's another thing that people don't realize. They're like, oh, well, how are you so successful right now? How come you have so many clients? The majority of the clients coming back to me are people who've written with me and are now ready to publish their own book, right?
Mhm.
That's where the people come back around. If you give people a good experience, they're going to want to work with you again. And I think that's what Jamie and Misha are both doing out there. They're making sure that when they meet someone, that person knows who they are before they walk away. And I don't
Mhm.
think a lot of people, if you had like that 1 minute elevator pitch, what would you say? Right? It comes right back down to that elevator pitch. So, all right, ladies, I'm going to hand it over to you guys. So either one of you could start the reading of your chapter. Whoever wants to go first.
Jamie.
I can go. Do we have to read the whole thing or just like a portion?
If you want to choose an excerpt from it, you can, because I know that it's both of you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just do a portion. Um, Support is something I value like wholeheartedly. Anyone's success in life is not done independently. There is someone, whether one person or a few, who helps them with the success they obtain in their life. Having support is not only ideal but necessary. Think about anyone who has a business, even a solo entertainer has a team behind them. Even you, yes, you reading this book, you have supported or endured support at some point in your life. And with that, you were able to accelerate, obtain accomplishments, and create some amazing memories along the way. Think about the last time you did something and your support system was right there. Didn't that make you feel good, all mushy and gushy inside? It's a wonderful feeling, I must say. And when you are the person doing the support, there's a reward in that too. And that's what I want to focus on with you during this chapter. So, depending on where my chapter is in this book, you may have read something similar. LinkedIn was not the social platform I was running to when I got up or even before I went to bed. Just being honest, Facebook and Instagram were my initial go to. I set up this profile because it was a thing to do while I was working at my first big girl job at a psychiatric facility. It was the thing everyone else was doing, so I hopped on the bandwagon. And although I had LinkedIn profile for years, it sat dormant and I would go on there every once in a while. It wasn't until a year ago or so that I invested much of my time on LinkedIn. The majority of the people I connected with stand on business. They were about their business and committed to connect with other people. It was like everyone was on a mission and together missions were made possible. Whether individuals wanted to do a podcast episode or share a LinkedIn live or audio room, I knew if I connected with them on LinkedIn, it was going to be promising. The missions were going to get completed. There was no such thing as someone reaching out just to gain a connection and obtain nothing from it. People on this platform are sharing stories, breaking barriers, and empowering people all over the world. You can find the missing link to your business by connecting with someone on LinkedIn. Truthfully, that is how I managed to sustain Helpful Living magazine. One of many reasons why I agreed to join in on this trilogy. Should should I keep going or is that good?
That's what you're comfortable with, but you read like the perfect part about it because it explains right there why it is you chose to be a part of the project.
Hmm.
And you and Misha being on stage here shows people exactly what can happen when you decide. to get into a project such as this. There are so many reasons to share your story. And there's so many people out there that want to, and they don't even know where to start. And
Mhm.
more than that, they don't think that they have what it takes to be published. And this is like the perfect pass through to Misha now. Because when I met Misha, I know Misha had that on a vision board. I didn't know that Misha necessarily thought that that was going to be done as comfortably as she thought it would have been done. And I want to say that I know she was able to attain a certain comfort level to go ahead and put that big check mark on the vision board and be like, yes, this is done. I want to share two comments before we move on because I really like this comment up here from Meryl. Community consistency and collaboration are key to developing meaningful, positive networking relationships, whether in person or online. Um, and that comment, Jamie, speaks so much to what you say because there's so many people that are like, oh, why are you on social media? Oh, you're just wasting your time. That crap's not real. Those people aren't real. What? What are you talking about? Some of these people online are more real than the people walking in the street next to you, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's what comes out of actually investing the time. And I wonder if stepping away from that reality of your surrounding in the street, but being centered here keeps you focused on the person that you're networking with.
Mhm.
Misha, all you.
Yeah, so I wanted to feed off of what you just said is because my confidence was low about my writing because you guys, I'm in my 50s. I was born dyslexic. So I have always had a mediocre attitude about my writing skills. And my coach, when I first launched Infrared Vision, which is a mindset company for the 40 plus community online in September 2019, she was the first to nudge me in the right direction. And I love it because she acted like big brother, big sister. And for the first month, she used to monitor my posts, and I was writing backwards. And so she would tag me and say, "Hey, you wrote this backwards. Could you go ahead and correct that?" Well, come moving forward, that's what Nick did for me when I was writing my chapter. She really made me feel like I was the only one that she was dealing with, even though she was dealing with 35 other authors in this trilogy. And it was a beautiful thing because she just has that personality to take you aside and deal with you like you're the only person in the room. And that's what really elevated my confidence, Nick, in order to complete my chapter. And what I loved when you were editing the chapter, you said, "Girl, I didn't really have to make that many changes to what you were saying." So it just really just made me go, wow, this is a mindset, blew my own mindset as being a mindset coach. And I loved it. So where I'm going to start in my reading is that I'm not going to go back and talk about, how I came up to entrepreneurship, but I just really want to start with this. It said, I had this feeling that I was no longer living and just existing. This is when I was tired and I was on, working a day job. And so, because it is September and Cancer Awareness Month, in October 2017, my next life challenge came in a form of a cancer scare that I found out through a gallbladder removal on my right side. They had found a cancerous tumor covering my adrenal gland on my left side, so I was discharged from the hospital to immediately be seen by a cancer specialist. They confirmed that I needed another surgery right away. And if I didn't get it right away, then you probably wouldn't be talking to me today. The surgery was a success because I am here right now speaking to you today, and I'm so thankful and grateful to be living. Through that experience, I have become more appreciative for my days, left on this earth. So at age 52, in 2018, I was sitting down at my desk and I was thanking my God for my life, telling him that I'm grateful for him for sustaining me. He told me to get a pen and paper out and write this down. He said, I want you to start a coaching company called Infrared Vision. I want you to target the 40 plus community, and I want you to come out of the word of Proverbs 20:19, where there is no vision, the people will perish. I was stunned at this point because I did not know what to think about this or do with this information. He reminded me that I had been part of a company who believed in creating vision boards. He said, I want you to tell the people that no matter your age, that they too need to have a vision. And he showed me that if I can help another person grow in their mindset, that it will be very rewarding. So I hired a coach and I moved forward in starting Infrared Vision. I revised my personal LinkedIn page to reflect Infrared Vision brand. And my coach Maureen and I launched Infrared Vision on Labor Day weekend of September 2019. And since that launch, my relationship with LinkedIn has changed dramatically. You will not find Infrared Vision on any other platform. I do not have that type of time or attention span, but I will say that it has allowed me to come to the platform and display the brand in a way that is understood that people need mindset shifts and change. The company name was inspired by the infrared light. Did you know that infrared light has over 20 plus healing properties, but you have to bring the heat before you bring the healing? So, Infrared Vision is a laser focused company that teaches the 40 plus community the importance of mindset and the importance of mindset shifts and change. And we want people to lean in to their latter days and have their latter days be better than their first. And that's what LinkedIn is helping me do right now.
And you were worried you couldn't write. See, there are so many different styles of writing, but our stories are unique to us, right? So there is no one way to do something. Express yourself and don't let anybody tell you that you are not capable of expressing yourself the way you need to, because you can. And Misha, you, when I opened your chapter and I'm going, what was this lady concerned about? That her words are going to be back to front? I'm like, ain't nothing back to front in here. I'm like, was she reading a stream backwards? So, you know, I think that we all need that moment to be looked at as if you are the only person standing in the room. And I think that when you work in a service oriented business, that is the strength. The strength is not the knowledge that you have to get it done, right? It's the being able to help the individual who you are working with feel as if they can get it done. And
Mhm.
I really hope that that's what happens with all the people that write with me. That experience is not that I was able to do this because of Nick. No, I was able to do this because I said yes to myself. That is the answer right there. I can want to help you all I want, but I can't make you put out a final product that you're happy with. You're the only one that can do that. And that's what you did. And Jamie did the same thing. And Jamie continues to do the same thing now with people that come to her with articles. So, this was like a special episode. It wasn't just that you got to come on and read your chapter and express why it is you came to this platform and stay on the platform, but you were able to share how so much more can come out of a collaboration, being in a book. So, share with us what's up next with each of you and how it is that the community that's here tonight can support you.
Go
Jamie,
ahead.
you first?
Well, I have multiple things going on. I always have the magazine, like I have a new issue coming out November. I'm excited about. In addition to that, I have a podcast that I launch about weekly. It's called Going Through with Jamie, and so with that, it I wanted to just have multiple platforms when it came to the magazine. The goal really is to continue to promote mental health awareness and wellness, and so I want to do it with the articles, and I also want to do it with the podcast. And so I'm always looking for those who wants to submit an article. You can always send me a DM. As well as the podcast, I'm slowly bringing people on. Mesha was on one of the guest episodes, and then what else I have coming up? One of the other things I have that I'm really focusing on in 2026 is a crowdfunding for the magazine. And so I'm looking to do a campaign to continue to bring awareness out, continue to um, just put, I guess, boots on the ground for helpful living and letting people know that we're here to stay, and to just prepare for all the great content we have. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Because so you answered one of the questions, because I was going to ask you how would somebody go about reaching you if they, what's the criteria if they wanted to submit an article to be published in your magazine. So please make sure that you reach out to Jamie if this is something that you're interested in. And Misha, what about you? What's going on with you, and how can we support you here as a community?
I got a lot of things going on. Misha is looking to pivot my mindset coaching to business in 2026. I'm going to be working with Jamie. She is now going, if she says yes on Friday, which I think she will, we are going to create content that will help drive those results from business to business. I'm still going to coach individually, but 2026 is all about getting to business to business. I'm also, I mentioned earlier, collaborating with my coach, Maureen Edwards, where she has an artificial intelligence company. And I'm really going to be pushing that message out in 2026 about how the 40 plus community really needs to embrace the technology and not be afraid of it. That those who, I'm just going to tell the truth about it, those who don't embrace it will get left behind. The outside of your door, the world has changed and is changing at a much more rapid rate than it ever has before. I'm also pivoting Infrared Vision's workshop into fresh content. So we will be pushing out our workshops more than we ever have. One is going to be talking about your vision and what is your next. Another one is going to be a philosophy around becoming debt free. So you can pivot in your older age and be 100% debt free, not dance with debt, and really get out of that, which I think that's very important. And lastly, just really being more consistent in my messaging or what have you. I have a tendency to start strong and then kind of wither away. That's how y'all ended up in singing contest last year, because I did 9 months of mentoring and coaching of mindset, and then all of a sudden I wanted to have some fun. So I do tend to deviate away from the mission, but at least we got to meet each other, know each other, like each other, and move from that. So that's where I'm at right now.
Ain't nothing wrong with having some fun. We certainly have to sometimes. We got to find one way or the other to do it. Oh, goodness. I want to thank you both again for coming on and everybody that came today. Um, when you purchase a book, you are giving witness to somebody else's courage to step up and share their journey. We all are walking our journeys. And we can really feel very alone sometimes in it. And it helps to know that we are not walking it alone. And I think the biggest thing for me with storytelling and when people choose to share like this is you don't know who's going to pick that book up. You don't know who's going to read that story, and you don't know whose life you're going to impact.
That's true.
So you share for yourself, but by extension, you are uplifting other people out there in the world, as Jamie is doing with her book. And I'm certainly going to be chatting with Jamie after this, that's for sure. Uh, she's like, I'm going to be like, I need to submit some articles. All right. I'm going to bring you ladies back off stage. I thank you so much for being here. And for everyone in the audience, again, thank you for being with us. And please scan the QR code above me and get a copy of a People First Professional Networking Platform. We came as professionals, we make impact as people. So you can finish reading these ladies' stories. I'll talk to you soon, girls.
Thank you.
Oh goodness. So we will be back in 2 more weeks and we will do another The Person Behind the Pen. The Person Behind the Pen is not just open for people that publish with Guiding Brilliant Writers. It is a celebration of all storytelling. If you are a self-published author out there and you would like to come on the show, please reach out. You can come on and you can do a reading from your book, and we certainly will also share the QR code so your book can be purchased. With that, we're going to wrap a little early, and I want to thank everyone again, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.